Tea Channeling, June 27th, 2023. Imagine using your limitless and innate power of creation to bring a reality into being that is truly magnificent. A reality where you can be your authentic self 100% of the time and be honored for doing so. A reality filled with delight, unconditional love, maybe even a bit of magic. A reality where everyone treats each other and the earth with reverence, respect, and gratitude. What might a reality like that look like? Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling, a safe and sacred space where we meet regularly to bring this imagined reality into our everyday lives. We refer to this community as Hoomadhi, a reality created by a community of open-minded, pure-hearted beings celebrating divine oneness and brilliant uniqueness while living in harmony, joy, and ease with one another and our beloved planet. Right here, right now, by all of us. This might sound surreal and perhaps even beyond our ability as humans, but we've been told it's not only possible, it's what we signed up to do in this lifetime. In fact, everything we've done in this lifetime and others has led us to this exact moment of creation. It's time to awaken to our infinite potential and trust in what we are being guided to do. My name is Debbie Pokornik, and I'm here with my dear friend Susan Hoskins, and together we will be your hosts. All we ask of you is that you enter this sacred space with an open mind, that you recognize you too have a support team of guides made up of energies that you might refer to as angels, spirit animals, crystals, or anything else. And we ask that you call upon those guides to be with you in this space, helping you to bring everything you hear into your heart.
As we step into this beautiful space, we invite you to take off the imaginary backpack we always carry with us. Because in our backpack, we store all the so-called past hurts and disappointments and times we thought we were a victim of anything. And so as we come into this new space of infinite potential to create, we ask that you lay down your backpack. You can always pick it back up at the end of this wonderful sweet tea channeling. But for now, see yourself walking in without the burdens anew.
It is no accident that you are here listening to this. And it is our unique brilliance and connection that will turn what we are saying from conversation into reality making. So if you are with us on this Zoom call, we invite you to share what comes up for you aloud or write it in the chat and we'll share it for you. Feel free to speak your truth with love, respect, and compassion for that which is shared by others. If this is your first time joining us, we start each gathering with a fresh channeling from an energy called Christopher. While Susan is sharing this guidance from beyond, we encourage you to let go of what you think you know and allow yourself to slip into the stream of consciousness, noticing anything that comes to you, but allowing it to flow through and trusting that if it's meant to be shared, it will surface again later. Afterwards, as we play with what has arisen, we like to see it as bouncing balls that are allowed to bump together, creating a beautiful kaleidoscope of colors, unique to us, to this present moment, and to the reality we are creating together. Please know that whenever you are listening to this, all the energy shared here is currently in your present moment, and therefore everything that arises for you is adding to the colors, just as if you were here with us right now. These hour-long calls and the videos created as a result are meant to be like alignment tools to help us create, raise our frequency, and actually live in the reality we are bringing into 3D. So feel free to go back and play in any of the videos, watching them over and over again as a way to remember, awaken, and truly live what we are creating. Let's begin by opening sacred space, followed by the channeling.
I invite you to draw your energy back into yourself as we begin, simply by taking a few moments to focus on your own breathing, breathing in and breathing out. And then from your heart space, we call in our beautiful tribe of angels and guides and master teachers to be present with us today. We call in our beautiful, eternal, holy self that we are one with, and that is one with Source always. We call in the beautiful energy of Christopher, and we call in the spirit of our Hoomadhi, whom we call Sammy. And we know that you, listening now, are calling in your tribe of angels and guides as well. And so we open our heart and our crown chakra to receive the beautiful guided information that is ours today in this beautiful present moment. And so we begin.
Christopher, what would you like to share with us today?
We, your angels and guides, your tribe of beings, are so pleased to be with each and every one of you today, for we know that this message goes beyond this simple Zoom call. It goes out into the planet where every good deed, every kind thought, every new beginning is met with welcoming arms and the raising of the entire consciousness of all. It is indeed a beautiful day wherever we are in this precious moment. For this present moment is truly all there is. Our experiences are made up of every present moment building upon one another, not to be recalled in great detail, but rather to take the essence of love and learning and guidance and exploration into the next glorious moment of being. And so we invite you to be fully present today and to ask whatever you might like, Debbie, as we begin this sacred time together.
Last week, you had mentioned that it is not up to you to convince anyone of anything. It is only up to you to fulfill your own soul's purpose, your own reason for being here to help in this beautiful moment, to create a much finer reality to live in right here in your world where people know who they really are. I feel like this might be a fun place to start playing in.
We like this very much. And the vision that Susan was getting as we began was, again, being in the sacred boat, if you will, of life as we are flowing down the river. But there are times in your world where so much is going on that you feel as if your river is not calm, it's tumultuous. And how do you hold on? And so we ask in this moment that you begin by knowing that you're always safe. You're always exactly where you are meant to be. You are protected. And you are here to fulfill your soul's purpose. And each person's purpose is uniquely different to what they have come here this lifetime to learn, to be, to experience, to serve. And no two purposes are really alike, for everyone has such an array of different past life experiences. And yes, you bring the awarenesses from past lives into the current life, even though you don't consciously remember it, because again, your journey is in the present moment. And so it is if not only that you're living your past lives at the same time, but that it's all one life, because it truly is. Each and every one of you is one divine expression of the beautiful united whole. And within your own beingness makes up all the divine expressions you've been in the past. But all that serves to do in this moment is just make you more of you and to enrich the mission that you have chosen to experience this lifetime. And as you often hear people say, it's no accident that we are together in this moment doing this particular work, this exploration, this creating of a brand new reality. For this is what all your past experiences, this lifetime, and many before have brought you to this important point. And so, yes, you don't remember the details of the so-called past. It only serves to make you who you are in this very moment, fulfilling your own divine mission. Does that help?
Mhm. It really does. And I feel like um, there might be a little more there for those people that are feeling pressured because they feel like they should know their purpose and they don't. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's something you could expand on for us.
I would love to. When we talk about soul's purpose, we're not talking about your career or um, what you think of as your mission or what people think of as a purpose, for that feels very directed and linear to us. No, no, no. Your soul's mission, your true mission, is simply to discover more of who you really are as an individual, beautiful expression of the divine. Who are you? Who are you in this moment? We know at the core of each and every one of you is that divine love that truly is the creator of all that is. And so when we talk about finding your soul's purpose, you can think of it again, it's not the to-do list of what you're supposed to accomplish. Rather, it's simply the knowingness, the ever unfolding, revealing itself to you of your beingness, the brilliance of you. And in so doing, as you learn to love this essence that may be called Susan or Debbie or whatever, you understand that it's part of this grand mosaic of life. And it requires you, whoever is listening to this, to know themselves as this light and this unlimited potential to be so much more than you ever imagined, living as God, living as the creator, living the love, the joy, the purpose, the compassion in service not only to revealing more to you of more, but in sharing that beautiful essence with everyone else that you meet. Does that help?
Mhm. Yes, that was perfect. Thank you.
What you have thought of as purpose or mission in the past is what you are to do with this. And again, we ask you that once you understand the brilliance of you, And once you understand the innate guidance you have to fulfill whatever it is that you've chosen to fulfill this lifetime or experience or to do, you have the guidance every minute of the day. If you can learn to listen to yourself, your higher self, and your array of guides and angels in the moment to take each step towards doing everything that gives you joy. Because when you're living your life with joy and love, that's when you feel the purpose of what you uniquely are here to share with the world. We like that expression better than what you are here to do. It's what you are here to share of you that only you can do in your own way with every single person you meet. And so, in a given day, let's say, when you meet a stranger or you meet someone that just needs your love and compassion, your hug and your understanding, you are indeed in the moment fulfilling what we call your soul's purpose in incarnating as a human this lifetime.
That is a very lovely feeling.
It is indeed. And the more you do that, you more you see that you work in harmony with every other aspect of this one shared created life that we're all creating together. One shared life, each of us sharing our unique, divine, brilliant expressions that makes up the beautiful whole. Think of it, if you will, if you can, as almost a sparkling candle flame. It is the whole flame that is the light, but it's made up of each tiny particle and sparkle that you can't even see with your physical eyes, but you can feel the essence of it. And that's what you are, part of this beautiful, divine, radiating sparkle of one life.
Very nice.
And it is so important that you go within to again discover the beauty of you and be willing to shine forth as you, uniquely you, as you often like to say, with all the warts and all the imperfections, which really aren't imperfections at all. For everything is in perfect divine order. And it's only when you're seeing through the consciousness of polarity that you even see or think of an imperfection. For in the light of a candle flame, there is no imperfection. It's all uniquely vibrating in the same moment and at the same frequency. So we would ask that every day, beginning right now, take the time just to appreciate and love who you are in this moment, with loving gratitude that you are living and always will live to shine your brightness on this world and worlds beyond. Does that help?
Yes, that's lovely.
Then for now, we will let that be so, because it's the greatest lesson to learn in life, is just the truth of who you really are. And you are so magnificent, for you are the creator of all that is, expressing life uniquely and with purpose as you. And so it is.
Well, that was fantastic.
I
How did
like
you feel?
it.
Yes, well, there was so much there. And, I have heard um, so many different I'm going to say channelings, but lots of them weren't even channelings.
Yeah.
But so many times I've heard people try to explain our purpose.
Mhm.
And it could be it's just the perfect moment for me, but that was the perfect explanation because to me, it just really came in and landed. I
Mm.
mean, I already had this knowledge that we can't do it wrong, that everything that happens um, to us is really for us, not to us. I already knew that, but this just felt like, I don't know, it feels so doable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is, and it feels like that for me. And I think um, I, I know in the past I thought, I've got to find my purpose, and is it to write? Is it talk? Is it to do this? And it's like, no, my gosh, I love what Christopher said. It's really none of that. That's beautiful to do if it brings you joy, but your purpose is to be you.
Mm.
Man, with all the flaws, I love that one too.
Well,
It's good.
exactly.
Yeah,
You can't do it wrong.
right,
There's no such thing as imperfect.
right,
There's nothing you have to figure out.
right.
There's no reason to be afraid that, oh, this I'm at this stage of my life and I still haven't figured it out. And what if I don't figure it out? It's impossible.
Yeah, because we equate it to what we've been led to believe that our culture thinks our purpose is. And that's not our soul's purpose at all. Our soul's purpose is just to be the beautiful individual expression of the divine as us, because nobody does it as us, only we do it as us.
Hmm.
And so, what I found so comforting is just that on a day, you're fulfilling your soul's purpose by simply giving a measure of love and kindness to another human being or animal or aspect of life, but most importantly to yourself.
Hmm. Yes, it is hard to beam it out
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have it already right here,
Yeah.
right? And that is something that I have found has gotten easier and easier the more I have understood about loving myself
Mm-hmm.
and really coming from that place first. Because then you can, I mean, I just stand there some mornings out on my deck. I'm looking out at trees and a little bit of water down below, and I'm just beaming out this love. And it feels very expansive. It feels very beautiful. And it feels like it's all coming back somehow to me and through me and back out again. And yeah, that's just a really great place to be.
It is. And I love the fact of learning to appreciate who we are, because when we come into a given lifetime, we come in with a lot of experiences that we're going to choose to have, or that we're choosing to have in the moment, and a lot of relationships and so much learning in all of that. And I love the fact now, it makes so much sense to me why we're asked to set all that aside as we come into this beautiful loving space to learn the truth of why we're really here. It's
Mhm,
not all that stuff in the backpack. It's not all the to-dos. It's none of that. It's learning how each one of us is so special. And gosh, we've been through a lot. And
mhm,
I don't think we'd be here in this moment if we hadn't come through it with love and learning and all of this. And so I think we're being given a wonderful opportunity in this moment, not to have to dig back through all the past and try to right any wrongs or anything like that. It's like, oh my gosh, I think we've done so much of that, that we're being invited to be here, that we're ready now to just understand that that got us here. And our mission now is just to love and appreciate us and do what we love doing, that's in service to somebody else and to ourselves.
absolutely. And then I sound like a broken record, but again, we can't do it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Right? There is, well, I mean, and really there's double meaning there, because that whole thing of polarity, there is
Yeah.
no right or wrong.
Right.
But
Right.
more importantly, or even the bigger piece to me, is that you anything you do provides a learning of some sort. So
Sure.
even if you're in a relationship, let's say, and there's a lot of problems with the relationship, and you're fighting a lot, and maybe you end up getting a divorce or a breakup of some sort with that particular friend, and you feel like you've messed up, you've done it wrong, it was a mistake, you wish you had never done it, but in
Mhm.
truth it was all part of what you signed up to come here to experience, because it changed who you are.
Right.
Yeah, and when we can really fully embrace that, it changes how quickly we become the version of ourselves that we were really hoping to become because of that situation.
I love that. I love that. We're embodying and recognizing and living our divine blueprint.
Mhm,
Mhm.
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 Lovely.
Lovely. And for me too, I think what's so important is I'm not defined by the things I do. I don't have to achieve XYZ to be who I am. By the same token, I love doing what I love doing, and
Mhm.
that gives me joy in the moment. And I know that that's helping to contribute to the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For quite a long time now, my guides, when I ask them what it is that, should I take that course or should I participate in this or whatever, the answer is, if it brings you joy.
Yeah.
Just if it brings you joy. Does it bring you joy? If it brings you joy, do it. If it doesn't, then maybe not, or figure out a way for it to bring you joy and then do it, you know. And so that feels like a really great platform, because then I can just measure everything against that and say, well, will it bring me joy to go to this book club, this group of people that I don't necessarily click with?
Right.
And do I really want to go and spend a couple hours doing that? Because we get caught up in that, thinking that because we've committed to
Mm.
something, that then we must continue being part of it. And it just feels so much more authentic to go, you know, this group isn't bringing me joy right now. So I'm going to bid them farewell. I'm not going to burn that bridge. I'm
Right.
just going to send them love and say, guys, I'm actually going to not be participating in this group anymore. And I don't have to do it by saying, because, you guys suck. Or even thinking that. I wouldn't even think that at all.
Well, and I think more and more we're really being called into that because I think the present moment time, so much is being asked of us to really shine our light, to really create this new reality of love and joy and purpose and fulfillment. That for me anyway, I don't even like to use the word I don't have the time, but I don't want to choose to use my moments in things that don't resonate with my heart.
Mhm,
And so that may be particular people who simply they're wonderful, they don't resonate with my heart. We're on a different frequency of communication, let's say at this point, or in activities that don't resonate with my heart. I know, sure, there's some things we do in our given day that are less fun than others, and if we can do them in a joyful way, wonderful. But how many of us spent our early adult years doing all the things we thought we had to do or should do, rather than what we yearned to do or what we resonated with?
mhm, mhm. So very true. So very true. And when you add to that the idea of accumulation, trying
Mhm.
to accumulate, we know we don't take that with us when we go. And yet we still have a very strong desire to accumulate. And now a lot of people talk about it as leaving a legacy, but there's the kind of legacy I like to believe that you and I are leaving, and probably every single person who listens to this or joins us in this, they are leaving a legacy of something far greater than money or a
Okay.
house or whatever they've materially
Mhm.
materialized. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I think I know you are just so right that it's that kindness you showed somebody that they'll always remember about you, not
Mhm.
a book you wrote, not a speech you gave. It's just how we've heard this before. How did they feel in your presence?
Yes.
And did you
Yes.
lift them up? Yeah.
Mhm. And even this part is a little bit, I want to say new to me, but it's not that new. However, it's the idea of that every single thing we do ripples out,
Mhm.
in all directions. So when you have a real loving thought, whether you're looking at a little bee on the ground and, oh, I just missed stepping on you, you little cutie, and thanks for the work you do, or whatever, you're sending out this incredible ripple.
Yeah.
The same is true if you think, "Oh, you bugger, you almost stung me." You're sending out a ripple there too. So it is a matter of becoming aware of what are the ripples we're sending out? What are the feelings, whether the essence, how are we making other people feel? How are we affecting the world around us?
Yeah, and I want to go back to something you said earlier that's so true that we keep talking about. It's not up to us to convince anybody of anything. What I feel part of my sacred work is with what we're creating with Humadi is helping other people to be empowered
Mhm.
to find the truth of themselves and their own resonance and their own guidance and their unique shining light to shine on the world. So I love the word empowerment. How do we help empower one another to be all they are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. So I keep getting this little nudge from my
Okay.
guides
Yeah.
to share this Gaia
Yeah.
um, piece that I had
Ooh,
I had mentioned to you before.
yay.
Um, because I feel like the second half of our time together today, we want to really focus on, okay, so those are the things that we think are wrong or we need to fix or, that we're happy we became aware of. And how do we start creating Humadi, our little community here behind us? How do we start creating that? And so I'm on a woman by the name of Aurora Luna Star. I'm on her list, and she sent this out this week. It was a solstice wish, but it is so beautiful. The question is an answer to what does Gaia dream about? Okay. Gaia, the living embodiment of our beautiful planet Earth, dreams of a harmonious existence where all beings coexist in perfect balance and unity. In her ethereal slumber, I'll say that again. In her ethereal slumber, her dreams are filled with vibrant ecosystems teeming with diverse life forms, each playing their essential role in the intricate tapestry of nature. She envisions lush forests stretching as far as the eye can see. I can feel that. With
Mhm.
trees reaching towards the heavens, their leaves whispering ancient wisdom in the breeze. Her dreams are painted with crystal clear rivers and lakes, where the sacred waters flow pure and untouched, nurturing all living beings and reflecting the gentle dance of the stars above. Within Gaia's dreams, she envisions humanity awakening to their true nature as stewards of the earth, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. She yearns for a world where love, compassion, and respect are the guiding principles, where every action is rooted in harmony with nature. In her dreams, the scars of exploitation and destruction are healed, and the delicate balance of her ecosystems is restored. She envisions cities that harmoniously blend with the natural world, where sustainable technologies and practices flourish, nurturing both the human spirit and the earth's abundant resources. Now, there's a little bit more there, but there's so much richness in that.
Mhm.
I want to stop there and discuss.
Lovely.
Yes. So to me, this is part of what we are creating. This is what we have been talking about. Um, I want to say all along, but what I mean is all along, ever since Sammy, our business energy, told us that that's what we're meant to do, to create this reality. So what jumps up for you?
Well, I love the fact that this was what Gaia dreams. I love that
Mm,
because it's what we dream and we're all one. I absolutely love that.
yes.
And what I'm so pleased that you brought this up today is the fact that we really are being asked to create this world.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it means doing it every day. And it's not always easy. Um, you and I both had a bit of a challenging morning before we got going today. And so, rightfully so, you invited us to call our energy in and raise our vibration, which means kind of like the image that Christopher was giving too. The boat felt a little rocky, but we stilled it and we
Mm,
caught it. And to me, that is living Humadi. That's living in this reality that for many people, the reality that they're experiencing is much more turbulent. And we are being asked to be able to create this where we step out of that and into a place that was described in that beautiful poem about honoring one another and all of the earth. We can create that
mhm,
living it every day. We really can. It's not an airy fairy, let's just talk about it kind of thing. That's what
mhm.
jumps out at me.
Well, yes, and I think that just building on what you said, we always have the choice of whether we're going to buy into drama and create a whole story around it that we're going to carry with us everywhere we go in our
Hit that
backpack.
backpack.
Exactly. And we're going to share it with others. And I mean, I am a fan of sharing stories that, things that went wrong for me or not went wrong, get it that I'm not saying right or wrong, but, things that were bumpy.
Yeah,
I am a real fan of sharing those because when I do that, I take the power out of them,
sure.
away from them, and I empower myself.
Right.
But I'm very careful about how I share the story. So
Mhm.
if I had a little bumpy road ride with my husband, I am not going to share that story of, do you know what he did? Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to really try and come at it from here's the humor. Like I can see now how I might have been adding fuel to the fire
Sure.
or whatever. And that just came up for me as you were saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that you know already, but I want to now tell everybody else. This answer was I don't really understand how it was done, but it came from AI.
Mhm.
And yet, as you're listening to it, to me, it feels like something channeled,
Mhm.
right? And it very much reflects or echoes a lot of the things I've heard you say when you are channeling.
Mhm.
So I love how perfectly it all aligns. Even AI, who a lot of us have been um, receiving messages to fear it, to not want to, that it's bad and all this kind of stuff and conspiracy and all that stuff. And I just think it's really important that in this Humadi that we're creating, we do it from a place of an open mind and open heart that there is goodness in everything.
Ah,
How do we find the goodness?
I love that. That is living Humadi. And you're absolutely right. When you shared this with me yesterday, and I was going, wow, that opens up something I'd never thought about, which is the creator energy in all of life, even this thing that was called artificial intelligence as it was used in this beautiful way. To me, it was channeled energy by whatever means it came through. It was from spirit because it resonates with the
Hmm.
core principle, if you will, I love a better word, of just what this is. It's living in love and joy and purpose and harmony with everything.
Hmm.
That's our guidepost. That's our measurement of, is this right for me or is it not? And so I love that. To me, I still think it's channeled. I think
Hmm.
it came in through however it came in through the computer. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And I think we're all receiving beautiful messages every day. Think of the people who can go out in nature and receive a message from the tree or the brook or the pelican or the dog. I mean, that's life. That's this life. That's the truth.
Yes, yes. And when we open ourselves up to it rather than think, oh, I must be going crazy. I thought that tree was talking to me. It's, it just becomes so magical. I mean,
Yeah.
that's to me where the magical comes in. And it's interesting, as you noticed, and we're changing the introduction every time because the introduction is part of helping us get settled in this space. And when I use the word magic there, sometimes I feel like I want to explain to people I'm not necessarily thinking abracadabra and now I'm going to turn you into a rabbit. Although shape shifting could certainly be part of the magic, but I am very much recognizing that there is so much magic in the world. I mean, just how a little seed turns into a sprout and comes up through the earth, to me, that is very magical. And when we allow something like this behind us with, you know, where we're allowing all these different things to grow up and attract all these different little insects and bugs that are all part of that ecosystem and part of what Mother Earth knows is required for things to thrive, and really grow. To me, that is all very magical.
It is. And what I'm really struck with today, I met some lovely ladies this week, and I was so intrigued by the different learnings or modalities or experiences they're all having, many of which I was kind of going, wow, I would love to know more about that. And I was struck by the fact that what we're creating here is something, it's simple, it's loving, it's the measure of all. It's as simple as you just said, learning to appreciate the beauty of the flower growing,
Mhm.
the beauty of one another, the kindness, the empathy, the just being who we are. And whatever learning experiences people are on that enriches that and is shared with another, lifts us all up. So for me, it's how do I bring this back into a very real, simple living that just resonates with my heart,
Mhm.
however
Mhm.
that's expressed.
Yes. In the Gene Keys, which is something that we both love dearly, but I have really
Right.
dove deep into it and really done a lot of exploring there. But one of the Gene Keys, it is about simplicity versus complexity. Complexity is like the shadowy part that it's where we kind of. I want to say derail, but that's probably the wrong word because it's not that we derail. It is what pushes us to evolve, this
Mm-hmm.
shadow. And so I mean, you're right. Any time that you can take something and say, okay, let's make this as simple as we possibly can, you're on the right track. And it's interesting because you and I have received that message so much in
Yeah.
all of our work together. We do want to complicate things, right?
Yeah.
We do. We do want to make it, like, oh, well, we've got to do this and we've got to make sure we do that. And if we're going to do a PowerPoint, we've got to have this and that, and it really is just so simple when you take that step back and say, if you're in this circle with me, and if you are even a tiny bit open to hearing your guides, then
Mm-hmm.
you know that my guides and Susan's guides are talking to your guides, and
Mm-hmm.
they're having a whole big conversation, and all the important pieces are coming down and through to us.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. You were just sending me right back to the visual I get all the time when I'm channeling, and particularly if I'm channeling for someone else. And that's just going into the heart, going in as my eternal self, connecting with that person's holy self. And by that, it's not again an airy fairy thing. It's just the truth of who you are.
Mhm.
It's your divinity. And then the array of beautiful beings that are always with us. And you're right, they're talking to each other. It's like, yeah, we're having us a powwow. And this is a lot of fun because we're communicating the same language, however, it is transmitted.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Another piece that came up for me there, just about the guides and the guides coming through, and when you started to share about what you do with the channeling. Um, I hope you're okay with me saying this. I know you will be.
Yeah.
My higher self's already talked to your higher
Yeah.
self.
I know.
I
They got
already
to
know
think
that
that.
it's okay. But it was only a few months ago that I said to you, "Do you think you could channel to me live?" And you
Mhm.
said, "Well, I've never done it before,
Right.
but let's try it."
Mhm.
And to me, it just astounds me how much our guides, our support system want to help us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they can't do it for us. They don't, I mean, we are here to do it. That's the reason we wanted to be born now, is to actually do it. So they cannot do it for us, but they sure are there willing to help and support and cheer us on and guide us and give us ideas and make sure we meet the right people and
Uh,
keep us safe, protect us. That is just so fascinating and fantastic to have in a world that right here in 3D can feel pretty scary to a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's such a rewarding thing to be able to open up and experience your particular guidance in however you are wired to experience, because our beloved guides know perfectly how to reach us.
Yes.
And so that's what I love. And the times we hear that guidance, we know that guidance because when we're when we're living knowing who we are, when we're living our spark of divinity within our true self, we are communicating all the time with other beings who are doing likewise. It may not be in a spoken language, but it is a language. It is a communication. It is a language of love. It's just the frequency of knowing.
Hmm.
And so I just invite a reminder to me always, and to you and to anyone who may be listening to it. One of the one of the greatest nuggets of wisdom to take today is how precious you are, and how, oh man, your true self wants to communicate with your guides and they with you all the time.
Hmm.
And yeah, right.
Right. And they're not trying to run the show.
Oh
They
no.
are simply there to help support you and give you access to wisdom that is rightfully yours.
Right.
You just have lost touch with
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in Humadi, I believe that that is one of the big differences, is if you are tapped in to that that information, right? That wisdom is just there for you to use. So it doesn't mean that there won't be any bumps and problems. Like you and I talked about this before, that, if you picture you're on a raft on a river, and if it's just smooth sailing the whole time, bending around, you're probably going to sleep a lot because it's beautiful, it's calming, and most of us would love that for a day or two. And then we'd start to get bored. We'd start to wish for bumps. We want some rapids. We want some things to challenge us, some things that we have to kind of go, how do I put this strong feeling that's coming up inside of me? How do I allow it to flow on through me so
Hmm.
that I can deal with this with curiosity, with wonder, rather
Yeah.
than going into a state of anger and drama?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I see a lot of that. coming up in Hoomadhi.
Me too. Yeah, because you know what? The thing that I love about you and I love about our work together is we always make it real.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sometimes some might argue a little too real. Yes. So I had another little piece from the last channeling that I just want to remind people of. Um, I've highlighted it, but I haven't read it today, so I have to remember what it is.
Okay.
Um, there are so many more who are being called like you into this consciousness. And once you begin to live it in this way, living in the present moment, understanding that you are much greater than you ever thought you were, understanding that you have a beautiful soul mission to fulfill, and that you have every single thing and being you need to do so, then you can understand that it is easier and easier just to live in this moment, in this consciousness. And we guarantee the more you do it, the more you will want to do it. And the less you'll be able to go back to the gunk and the density that you dwelt in before. So that was last week. And it just felt so powerful. I'm not sure about you because as a channeler, I know it's a little bit different. You know,
Mhm.
you've put yourself aside to allow this information to come through. But for me, I mean, there was so many things that came up as Christopher was talking to us today. And I thought, oh, that would be lovely to share. But it really did remind me of being on this beautiful boat going down this beautiful river, going, oh, I've got to remember to tell everybody about that. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is, oh, wow. You know, and there's just so much coming up. And
Yes.
that's what the stream of consciousness is like.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love
Mm.
that.
I do too. And I think there is so much for us to know and practice and really feel into that whole idea of being in the moment.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's hard. It's
Hmm.
really hard, right? Your brain wants to go off in a million different directions and think about all the things you have to do or you didn't do or you wish you hadn't done. Yeah.
But
Mm,
it's in the moment where we really hear our guidance. It's in the moment where we can experience wonder and
yes.
delight and even being outside and just appreciating the beautiful day or the bird or the dog or whatever it is that we're so gifted with
Hmm.
to be able to savor and enjoy. And for me, that's where I hear my messages the most, when I can be in the moment and just allowing.
Hmm. Yeah, and you know, I think I'm just making a connection. I don't know if it's for the first time, but it is only in the moment where you're truly empowered.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. I
Hmm.
think you should say that again.
It is only in the moment that you are truly empowered.
Oh, I love that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Just came in. Just
Perfect.
came in on the station.
I like the frequency, baby. It's everything. Yeah,
All right. Well, time just flies
I
when you're
know.
having fun and, you know, sitting outside of a little hobbit
I know. Isn't that fun?
house.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about we close sacred space?
I would love to. And so, just as we began, let us bring ourselves right back to our heart center, right back to that place of knowing and experiencing the true beauty and brilliance of who we really are as this unique, gorgeous expression of the divine right here, right now, just being more and more of who we really are. And so we give thanks today for our beloved, beloved angels, guides, and master teachers. We give thanks for every single creature we encounter that helps us to remember who we are and to be more of who we are. And as we close our space today, we know that we take this wisdom with us, and we take each one of our guides are always here present, and we're just being called to be more of simply who we are. So let us go forth today knowing that we are wrapped in the golden sheets of divine love, light, and protection, so that we can truly live consciously in the present moment in this new reality with confidence, knowing who we are, knowing that this is where we're meant to be, and knowing that we are always protected. And so it is.
So it is. So if you would like to play with us in creating Hoomadhi, please send us an email at info.hoomadhi@gmail.com. That's info.hoomadhi@gmail.com. We would love to have you with us at our Sweet Tea Channelings, bouncing that ball and creating that kaleidoscope with us. We hope you will join.